Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in the previous video we've done a couple of the aesthetic modes. I did the the introduction of R1 to the channel, and today we're gonna be doing this beautiful RCS17 Brembo master cylinder. We're gonna be swapping the original Nissan. This was previously on GSX-R600, but I've taken off this brake pump to use the R1, which I think is a better option. So first of all, we're going to do it old school. We're gonna take the hose and the old bottle, and we are going to suck the the brake fluid from the master. All right, so we're gonna take the 8, put it on the valve. We're going to put the hose on, and now we have to secure it, open it up, pump the brakes, close, open it up, pump the brakes, off. And we're going to do this until we have pretty much empty the reservoir. Well, as you can see, the brake lever with the closed valve is empty. There is no pressure, so we don't have brake fluid inside the brake pump. As you can see, not even brake fluid is coming up. If you take a look here, we can see that we have not a lot of brake fluid in the reservoir. It's just on the bottom. Now we'll close this off, because that's the old one. We are going to take off this holder. Now we can move the brake reservoir. Now we'll disconnect the fuel hose. There we go. So if we keep the banjo bolt with the hole up, we're not going to get some leaking fluid, but we actually drained a little bit of the brake fluid from the pump. So this is actual brake pump with a brake reservoir, the Nissan, the original one. We can put the cap back on, and we can put the clamp back on. For people who are installing this back, you can see there is a little bit arrow. Put it up, so you know that this is not upside down. This is right away up. This is actually really easy if you understand what you're doing, if you've done it. For people who are trying to do this at home, the upgrade of the brakes, if you are not really technically skilled, I'd say that this is something you should talk to your mechanic or friends who are doing this kind of work on the bikes, because the brakes are the only thing which are stopping you if you are doing 200 kph or 300 kph on this kind of bike. So don't take this work lightly, and I'd say this is pretty much kind of like a 7-8 out of 10 of the complication from the complication point of view. So let's put this aside, because we're not going to need that anymore. This is the clutch lever from before. So now it kind of looks strange without the brake. Obviously, we have no brake fluid at this point here. So one very important thing is that you have to know what kind of brake setup you have, right? Because if you take a look closely, this bolt and this bolt, they are totally different, right? Because you have one hole and you have two holes, right? So it heavily depends what kind of bike, what kind of setup you are running. So either you have one hose which is coming this way, then it kind of split, and it splits at this point, and one line is going to the one caliper and second line is going to the second caliper. In that case, if you have just one hose at the top, then you need this banjo bolt, which is there is a thread and you have one hole. But if you are running two different lines, so you have two line setup, which one line is going from the brake cylinder to the from the master cylinder to the brake caliper, and second line is running to the brake caliper on the other side, and you have two line setup, then you need banjo bolt with two holes, because you have two lines which are connecting on each other into the master cylinder. So this is very important to know what kind of banjo bolt you need. The interesting thing with Brembo is that Brembo is using different kind of thread as Japanese bikes do. So first of all, I was not sure which one is the right one from the Brembo RCS, right? So I bought both of them. So there is a difference, as you can see very closely. Both are Brembo, but as you can see, there is a very small difference in the thread, right? I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is a very small difference between the threads. So there is 1.0, I think, and 1.5. So Brembo is Italian brand, and Nissan is the different kind of brand, that's Japanese, right? So the banjo hole is taking different kind of thread as the Japanese bikes do. So to use banjo bolt like this, you know it's fine, because it's thread in easily. If I take the other bolt, it doesn't want to go in, right? It got stuck on this part. And if you force it, you're gonna break the thread and you can throw this away. So obviously, we're gonna need this banjo bolt, since I have one brake line setup. You cannot use the original bolt because it will not fit in. It has different thread. As I said, the Italian Brembo has different thread than the Japanese brand. So we have to leave these three out, and we can use only this bolt, which threads in all the way. So that's first lesson. Another lesson, which is very important, is to have this kind of things. And this means that you're gonna have brand new crush washers for the brake hoses. If you don't use the new ones, probably they have usually this kind of color, but it doesn't really matter if you are the correct ones, because if you don't use the new ones, probably your brake is gonna be leaking fluid, which you don't want, of course. So we're gonna be using from 2 to 3. It depends how much thread we're gonna have and how much free play we're gonna have. So from 2 to 3 new crush washers. We are going to get rid of this small cable, which I'm going to show you later what it does. Now we're gonna need 8mm to get this off, because we had to fit it on the handlebar. All right, so the new location is gonna be somewhere here, right? And then we will have to work with this brake fluid reservoir not to hit the fairing, which is gonna be a lot of fun, as I can see. We'll have to mount it somewhere totally far away, or somewhere else. So let me get this off. Okay, now we have to get this on. Brembo should go, I'd say this, yeah, only one way, only like this. All right, we get it loosely on. Now we want to fit it somewhere properly for our brake. So I'd say there is a small trick which is used in racing. So we are braking with your two fingers, right? Let's look from the other side. So you are braking with your two fingers, right? So physics are saying that if you're going to be braking on the end of the lever, you're going to be using less force with your fingers, but you're going to get the same amount of braking force. So if you move your braking lever more inside, then your fingers are not going to be on the middle of the lever, but they're going to be at the end of the lever, so you can use less force, but you're gonna get the same amount of braking power. So this is a little trick which I learned from World Superbike. Now we will use our brand new banjo bolt. So one crash washer is between the bolt and the hose. We are talking about this hose, and second will be from the top. So you're gonna get the hose in between the both crash washers. And now we have to get it into the master cylinder somehow. I think this should be fine. We're not going to be hitting anything. Yeah, I think this is fine. So let me make it tight to see where we are in situation with the brake fluid reservoir. I think we usually use, this is gonna be fine because this turns with handlebar, so this is not going to be pinched in or hit anything. There is a pretty healthy circle, so I'd say we're pretty much okay with the options that we actually have. We can maybe go from the other side, we'll see. Maybe we can turn it around totally. Alright, so now we have to figure out how to install the brake fluid reservoir without, breaking it. like this, and if we move it, we're gonna be hitting the windscreen. If we move it lower, this might work actually. This is not okay. Alright, so we actually finished the brake pump. I kind of do it outside the camera because I was trying to figure out where to fit the brake fluid reservoir. I think this is pretty okay because we don't have any issues with the fairing. We don't have really issues with the display, so I think this is pretty good. We used original Brembo holder and original Brembo bolts, so I'm just going to tighten it up, and this is pretty much okay. So yeah, we'll just put this on. Let's get it good and tight. We can go one step further. We can do these nice markings so we know it didn't move and it will not fall apart. Since we are doing brakes, we're gonna be using these race fasteners. It's actually it's a bolt for the front calipers. It's a different kind of bolt. It's titanium bolt, so it's lighter, should be stronger, and it's prettier, which is very important. It's prettier. And there is one very important thing about these, that you have pre-drilled holes, so we can do the safety wiring we can do. Well guys, so I've done major things behind the camera because it took quite a time, so it would be really long video. So overall, we put the new seat on. It's nice and beautiful, nice and soft, kind of matches, you know, it's R1 seat with a butt pad. I don't know. it's for the, you know, when you are on the straight. We've put on the last video this really nice fuel tank cover with Stompgrips and with the protection on the end or the beginning of the fuel tank cover, and we've put the Gilles shark fin, one of those. And the performance stuff, we've put the Brembo RCS17, which I'm really proud of. It's a really nice setup at this point, and with a TWM remote adjuster, so it's, you know, it's looking really great. We have Motoholders 700 brake fluid with a Brembo holder, original holder, so we are not touching any fairing, so there is a really nice kind of like it's really tight, but we have really nice clearance. We've put the protection screen on the display. it just looks so pretty. It just looks so pretty. R1. All right. So yeah, and we've put brake fluid, as I said, brake setup, this setup, and we have pretty much everything what we wanted to do. We actually have done. Only things which remains, that's L shape or 90 degrees tire valves. But for that I have to remove the tires, and I have to remove the wheels and tires from the wheels, and I want to replace the tires anyway, so that's going to be a little bit more complicated, so we are not going to do it tonight. But for now we are pretty much set up. I wanted to do the Brembo, that was one of the main goals, and I think it's pretty late at this point. and we are going to win the MotoGP, hopefully. So don't tell me who won, I don't want to know. But I think that as soon as this video will be released, I think I'm gonna see plenty of MotoGP races. So yeah, keep fingers crossed, guys. We're gonna be taking this for the first track day. Hopefully next week we'll see about the weather, and we'll compare it to GSX R600. So that's gonna be really exciting experience and comparison. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think about the update, what you think about the setup for the R1, and yeah, subscribe, comment, like, share. Let me know if you have R1, if you have what kind, and see you on the track.